What is up, guys? Today in this episode of It's Cold in the Woods, I'm here to talk about something that I realized as a result of experiencing a wonderful LSD trip as well as a cannabis high that really put in perspective two different aspects of my mind that were battling each other with different resolving factors. So this has to do with the ego, right? I'm all about this ego right now. Something that's been bothering me is my own self-judgment and it's not been bothering me, but here's two different frameworks, two different aspects within the mind that I've been paying attention to lately. Self-judgment. Basically, for example, one thing is like, I'm a young person. I don't know what I'm doing all the time. Like, societally, like getting gas and there's like a fucking pump with a card machine that looks totally foreign to me. I don't know how it works. I have to ask somebody, right? And my mind says, there's a self-judgment aspect that's like, look at you. You're just a little child. You don't even know what you're doing. That's one thing. The other thing is an egoic complex that tells you a meaning as a result of a thought. So there's two different things, right? There's a judgment and then there's a implaceable meaning, implaced meaning that is done by the ego. And if you are to resolve the judgment by the ego's resolution, so an ego's resolution is to notice that it's there and to release it, right? A judgment's resolution is to notice that it's there and accept it, okay? Those are two exactly opposite things, and if you do one to the other, if you accept the ego, you're going to become those feelings and result in a negative experience. Whatever the meaning tells you that it is, right? And you don't know what the meaning is. You can't tell what the universe is providing for you. You can't tell the meaning of your life. You don't know what's going to happen. All of those things that the ego is trying to tell you it knows, you don't accept that. You release it. You understand that it's there, and boom, it goes away. Now, I got that confused with self-judgment, where I would judge myself and say, oh, look at me, I'm a little child. And I would notice it's there and try to release it and release it and release it, and things would just come back. Because you can't really release a judgment. You can't release your own personality. Because in reality, yeah, I'm a child. Like, I don't know what I'm doing all the time. So when you live up to your judgment, when you accept your judgment, it goes away in a sense that you then incorporate it in yourself, not providing an egoic meaning to it, not providing a negative circumstance to it, but understanding that, yeah, you are yourself. That allows you to be a more whole person and to be more calm in the reality. Like, recently, I've been trying to use the egoic resolution in the judgment scene, right? And in social situations, I've been like super socially anxious and I don't know what to do because I'm judging myself and trying to release it and saying that it's not me, that, that what I am is just this released monk that, right? No, like, I'm a person who is all of these self-judgments in a way that doesn't have any negative meaning of calling myself a child. Like, I'm a child, I'm a goofball, sometimes I talk to myself in the fucking car, right? Like, it's a self-judgment that doesn't have to be released because it's the truth. Like, it's me. And as a result of understanding that self-judgment, in social situations, instead of being very anxious and judging myself and not knowing what to do with that judgment, I just accept it and say, yeah, look, I'm a child. I don't know what I'm doing all the time. And everything's fine. And then, people help you and whatever. The life goes on. You live your part. Sometimes my hair is super greasy. Yeah, I'm that one super greased up dude filling up gas, Like, you don't have to release that idea. And you don't have to feel a negative circumstance about it. Like, that is you. In another person's reality, yeah, you're that greased up dude. Like, it doesn't really matter. And in their reality, they don't really care. Nobody really cares. So two different aspects within the mind that, when trying to resolve in the opposite, in the other, causes flares of fire, like fighting fire against fire, and it's feedback loops of negative experience. And I really I experienced that. And until my LSD trip, where it split apart in my mind. See, I thought it was the same thing. I thought self-judgment and the egoic preconceived meaning, I thought those two things were the same thing. But when I was on LSD, it was split apart, and I realized, wow, there's two different roots to this situation. And just on a cannabis high last night, I realized and materialized it in language, and it made so much sense to me. And now I feel like I can just be myself and not be socially anxious. I don't have to go up to somebody, look them in the eyes, and feel uncomfortable about not knowing what to say. Because fuck it, sometimes I don't know what to say. Or if it's awkward, like, who gives a shit? It's not always the person. It's not always you that's awkward in a social situation, It's just like a social situation that fucking happens. And that's you. So, I hope this mental mind dump might help some of you. And when people talk about releasing ego, this came up in my previous videos, where is it really possible to release ego? And I formulated a response based upon an idea that I didn't necessarily understand at the time, which was that judgment side of the scale. So I think ego is definitely able to be released. I don't provide meaning. I don't think of a future circumstance or a thought reality and then experience it as what my mind thinks it is anymore. I don't. But at the same time, see, I thought this egoic, not really egoic, I thought this judgmental aspect of the self, showing you who you are really, me, I thought that was also ego, and I was thinking, well, maybe you shouldn't release ego because that's there. I don't think that's ego, though. I think it's just a realization of self. And the balance in that, though, is to not necessarily completely dive yourself into those realizations of who you are. So, like, if you're playing guitar and you're fucking, doing it some way, don't identify with a particular pattern. That's limiting yourself. But it's okay to name yourself in a way. Just don't limit yourself with that name. Understand that you can be more. Those judgments are okay in the moment, but as soon as the ego takes it out of the present moment, into the past and in the future, and then places judgments in a sense of it thinking that it understands what's going to happen in the future or what happened in the past, that's when it becomes a problem. And that's what I think can be released. And I've done that. Okay? So just to clear that up. It's beautiful here. Clean air. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I'm going to go to the library and get a bunch of stuff done. So enjoy. Weed. Peace out.